Welcome to the Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies, where there's always another secret.
Welcome back, Sixers, to the Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies. This is episode 125, and today is December 19th, 2022. Happy Koloss Head-Munching Day, everyone.
Woo! Happy Koloss Head-Munching Day indeed.
Yes.
I am Bill.
God bless us, every head.
I am Bill, and I am joined, as always, by my cephalomasticated co-hosts, Amy and Jordan. Welcome.
What? Okay, going to the show notes because now I want to know how that's spelled.
Yeah, I'm like, what is that word? I've
cephalomasticated.
Never heard
Head
eaten.
Oh,
Head-munched.
okay. Okay.
That's why cephalopods. That's why octopi are called that, because they have this big head and not much else.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, the exciting thing, though, is it is Koloss Head-Munching Day, and that means that we are talking about the state of the Sanderson.
He's got sound effects.
So the state of the Sanderson has been delayed due to a misalignment of ducks. Repeat, Brandon mentioned that they still need to get a few days to get all their ducks in a row. So it will likely be coming out Thursday, at least sometime this week in the next few days. But instead, we're just going to talk about Brandon's Koloss Head-Munching Day / birthday stream and sort of have a general Brandon appreciation episode. Now remember, while tonight's live stream, what's that?
If you can't appreciate them today, then when?
Exactly. Now remember, while tonight's live stream was spoiler-free, the Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies is not necessarily a spoiler-free podcast. There's a good chance that there's not going to be any spoilers tonight, but we can't make any actual promises. We may stray into some spoilery stuff if it comes up. It's not likely, but it is possible.
Yep.
For those of you who listen to the podcast recordings or watch the videos on YouTube, we do want to remind you it's possible to listen for listeners to interact with us live via chat as we record episodes at www.twitch.tv/InkeepersTable. We record episodes every other Monday night, starting at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, so please join us and take an active part in the discussion. The show is made possible by the support of our listeners and patrons. It will, of course, continue to be free, but if you want to help us out, head on over to patreon.com/Cosmere Studies. You can pledge $1 or $2 per episode, and that would really help us out as we continue making episodes and working to improve the show. Patrons get immediate access to our Discord channel, where we've got a lot of awesome people in there, and we talk about the Cosmere, we talk about other stuff. It's just a good group of people who share a love interest of the Cosmere. You also will get early access to bonus episodes, exclusive access to other bonus content, and other good stuff. Now, guess what, guys? It is time for a very special Cosmere Thing of the Week. Amy, why don't you tell us about our Cosmere Thing of the Week this time?
So, I happened to be part of this little video on a thing called TikTok, and it got put up by Dragonsteel Books' account because Octavia is amazing, and all the other people on the Cosmere TikTok Discord group that I'm in were like, hey, we should totally do a video for Koloss Head-Munching Day, and we should drop books and everything else. And so we did that, and then we said happy birthday, and then Ammon spliced everything together, and we had a fun video. And then Brandon even reacted to it like a split screen thing, so that's awesome. Really cool.
I will say, I hate TikTok and everything it stands for, but this is a pretty cool video. You also definitely go check it out. We've got a link for it in the show notes, so y'all should go take a look at that.
So yay.
Definitely. And if you're watching live, I know that everything got borked. Don't worry, we're fixing it, and everything's fine. Nothing is broken.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
My niece may have walked in and may have hit a cord, and I had to tell her, unfortunately, this is not the time, and now we are stumbling, and she is adorable and perfect in every way except this one.
And now she runs crying to her mom and says Uncle Jordan doesn't love me anymore.
No, she kind of just walked off. She had Gary in her hands, who is a giraffe that looks like a mutant cow.
On to Sanderson news. Okay, so as we've said, the state of Sanderson is delayed. There's also, when it does come out, probably on Thursday, sometime in the next few days, though, there will also be a YouTube version that you can check out. Brandon said it may come up at the same time. It may not be till a little bit later, so we'll see. Stormlight 5 is at, I don't have the Bing sound effect yet. I need to get that in there, but at 27%-ish, because it's going to be longer than the previously expected 400,000 words, because Brandon is insane.
But we love
I'm surprised, frankly, that he made as big a jump as he did.
2%?
Yeah, like that for a book of this size.
Brandon, the amount of writing Brandon gets done, I'm not surprised at all. That's sort of a typical.
We love it. Yeah.
Amount for him, I think. But the live stream was tonight because, again, today is Koloss Head-Munching Day, which just coincidentally happens to fall on Brandon Sanderson's own birthday.
I know. Total coincidence.
Now, the cool thing about this stream, this was what he described as the opposite of a spoiler stream, where people just asked Brandon random goofy questions.
Like, oh my goodness, the Muppet thing. I love it.
We'll talk about it.
I know, but I'm so excited.
Will we?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Good point.
Also, really cool news. The leather-bound editions of Alloy of Law and Shadows of Self have arrived early. I actually got my shipping notification this morning, which means it may arrive before I take off to go to my brother's for Christmas.
Ooh,
so
schmancy.
So I may have my copy because, I live just down the road. Yeah. So yay. I'm hoping.
If not, can you request? Can I just go to the warehouse itself?
No, they've already. No.
If it's already in the shipping queue, then they don't want to do that.
It's already got a label and everything. It's been done.
Just try and flag down the truck.
Let's see. Secret Projects Kickstarter is there's going to be another update coming soon. It's going to tell us about the digital rewards so that on day 1 of January, we'll be able to jump right in and get our ebook / audiobook / other digital rewards that are part of that box. So keep an eye out for that Kickstarter update to make sure that you are able to jump in as soon as possible. Now, just so you know, even though these will be available on the 1st and our next stream is on the 2nd, we are not that crazy. I'm that crazy, but I cannot.
I might be that crazy.
I can't force my hosts to do that.
I will try, but there is. I don't think I can ignore my family.
Do we know how long the audiobook will be? Because I will be hopefully driving. So
on that day.
Yeah, there's a chance.
Okay. Well, you'll definitely have you'll almost like certainly. Wow, I am using all the adjectives and none of them go together, but. There's a good chance that you'll get through the whole thing on that drive because that's not a short drive.
No.
But yeah, so just pay attention to that Kickstarter update coming soon. Brandon will be taking next week off for some reason because I think he's just lazy and doesn't work hard enough.
True.
And so
something with trees and
he's taking all of next week off. Ridiculous. Honestly, shameful.
Slacker.
No. But he'll be back. He said either the week after that, and if not, in 3 weeks. So we'll see. But yeah. So should we dive into tonight's stream?
Muppets.
I officially got everything fixed on the stream now.
Yay.
Jordan's back. Yay.
All right, Amy, you're so very, very excited.
So I'm not going to remember all the details, but there have been several times that people have been like, so I wonder what it would be like if we had a Cosmere film, but they did it with Muppets and they only had like the one human cast member, and then somebody actually asked him and got his opinion on it. And so it was like so nice that there it was, that we finally got that question answered.
Who was the one human actor that he said?
Wanted to be Idris Elba.
That's right, Idris Elba. Did you say he was playing who?
And he was going to be Dachshund. Yeah,
Dachshund. Okay.
He felt the one sane man, and then all these crazy people going around. Although to me, I think Ben would be the better one.
Now, I will say, people were talking about which Muppet would be cast as which character, and a lot of people started saying in chat something. I am the first one who said it. I will claim that right now. I said that Miss Piggy should be Ham.
That was
for multiple reasons, for layered reasons. But I said it first.
Good job. Good job, Bill. I'm very proud of you.
You're very special.
I am very, very special. Listen, this is Muppets and Brandon Sanderson. These are two of my fandoms intersecting and colliding.
If there was a Venn diagram.
You mean a Venn diagram?
Oh!
Is that an episode title?
I like that for a title.
We might have better.
Hey.
I hope we didn't peak too early.
But guys, I'm having fun tonight. This is just a very, very chill stream because I'm not as worried about getting everything. It was a chill stream that we're reacting to. And so I just, and this may be a shorter episode. I don't know but this was a fun discussion of just Brandon being Brandon on stream with his family. I was so excited that Emily was co-streaming with him too.
I also liked the where he started talking to theoretical Magic the Gathering people or Wizards people and being like, hey, you should make me a giant card of like Urza or something like that is what it said.
Urza.
Okay, Urza. Sorry, close. And it's just like, and I could have it in the background and it would be great advertising for you. And he just was really shilling for that.
He also was pitching for a Heroes of the Realm card, which those go for tens of thousands of dollars.
My favorite thing was, I can't remember what it was, but he got like something really cool Magic like. And he was kind of geeking out. He looked at Emily and he's just like, you should be more excited than you are for this.
You're not excited enough about Magic cards. I also liked it how one of the questions for Emily was, what would Emily like in a giant size? Because he was wanting an oversized Magic card. And she was just like, I actually like things in miniature. They didn't ask the question that I wanted, which is, what is something that Emily would want in miniature then?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, so let's pause at the question though. What would you want in giant size?
That's Cosmere related or just like anything?
Anything.
I want a life-size version of the Stormlight statue that's coming with the miniatures.
Oh, Zethan Kaladin.
I mean, once that Christmas tree goes down in the background, you'll have some space.
I want a life-size version of that.
Oof, yeah. I want a Rashadium. That's what I want.
Of course, Amy goes for the pony.
No, I mean, I have three ponies on my desk. I have the brown one, and I have the Pegasus, and I have the My Little Pony who's you can't see. It's Rose from Doctor Who. Anyway,
the brown one that you have, I think my grandparents had that kind when I was growing up.
Oh,
that looks very similar to the style that they had.
Yeah,
old school fancy.
Kind of like buckskin. I think is what they call the color. It's like a light tan with like the dark legs.
No, not the color, but just like that.
Oh, the style.
Style, yeah.
The pose. Okay.
This like that size and style, yeah.
The giant thing I would want is just a giant Diet Dr. Pepper dispenser. Lifetime supply, preferably.
Oh, we're not talking Cosmere.
No.
Well, if we're not talking Cosmere, that opens up so many possibilities. I would like a giant oversized bank account. Stuff to
doesn't count.
I want a giant craft room. That would be nice. With like a huge cutting table and all the space.
Can I get an oversized Koloss sword?
Ooh.
Like one that
think
would
of it. How have the Forged and Foam people not made a Koloss sword yet?
I think they have.
I didn't see one.
I saw a few of them going around the con.
Well, people may have made those too.
I don't think
it's possible.
Cosplayers are a thing.
I mean, it basically is a Buster sword. So
yeah,
like you could just buy one of the Buster swords that people have been making for decades at this point,
and chop off
and call that the Koloss. So.
Yeah, I mean, because they aren't just one style of sword; they're kind of haphazard and all different styles, from what I remember, but all giant.
But I want one that, if a Koloss wielded it, it would look like us wielding one of the normal Koloss swords.
Oh boy, that'd be a lot of foam. That'd be a whole lot of foam.
I didn't say foam. I want the sword.
I'm thinking about if I were to make it, because that's where my brain always jumps to is, oh, that's a thing. Can we make it? Here's how.
Actually, you know what? I'm wrong. What I want is a giant Sander bot, so he can just make the stories that I want made.
just keep making them.
Those are very proprietary. They keep them locked up in a basement. Fortunately, the basement's close by, so we could try and steal one.
Don't do it, guys.
Trying to plan a heist into.
This is going to be now the lamest heist movie ever.
Oh man,
it's going to be me, Bill, and Rosie.
Rosie would not be a good lookout at all for you. She'd just be like, "Oh hi," or she'd be
the smell out.
That's true.
It's like, listen, do you smell something?
Nope.
Was that Ghostbusters?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Although, to be fair, that's like just throwing it at a dartboard with my references.
Mm-hmm. It's a fair guess.
When in doubt, is it?
It's like,
but I did recognize
someone played Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies bingo, and they're just going bingo.
Somebody mentions Ghostbusters.
See, for me, it'd be Ghostbusters references, geeking out about Kelsier.
Bill says fascinating. I've noticed I say that way
cover
too
band
much.
Name.
Cover band name, yeah.
I've been really wanting to figure out how to find enough clips of like different cover band names you've made, Bill, and make that a TikTok video and just be like all these different cover band names. So if you guys like can point out where they are, then Bill can pull the clips and then I can
that'd
make
be
it.
Awesome.
That'd be fun. So anyway, I need to do better doing the TikTok videos.
That'd be heck of a research project.
Oof,
or you could go through and pull like episode titles.
This would be fun too.
Good times.
Good times.
Oh,
indeed.
so the other remember the giant box they had? Do you guys remember what was
at the very beginning?
Yes.
Yes. So I've noticed something. I've never really pictured chasm fiends as plushy. So
because they're hard.
This is by their very nature.
This is a reference that only Bill will get. Did that not look like the Carbot version of a chasm fiend?
Yes, it did. It looked like. Sorry, now I'm just picturing it just going.
So Carbot is a guy who does like StarCraft things with very simplified versions, and his Zerglings are adorable.
Oh dear.
And
they
it
really
just reminded
They're
me
little
of
dogs.
Yeah, they're basically dogs.
Okay, you'll have to show me those after.
But it was like, what are the big ones? The giant lisks.
The Ultralisks.
Ultralisks. Like there's one where he like grabs a tank and it's playing with it. That's sort of what I pictured.
Yeah, but no, Carbot animations. But yeah, it's adorable. Well, and then they had stickers for each of the characters holding them.
Those stickers were really good.
Those were so cute. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Well, you had like Kaladin there looking grumpy to be like having his picture taken with. He's just like, why am I posing for this?
My favorite was Shalon poking it with stick.
It's like, do the thing.
I liked Adolin because it like crawled up on his shoulder and was.
No, Adolin was standing on it. Dalinar had it on his head, I think.
Oh, Dalinar had it on his head.
Yeah,
That's
Dalinar
right.
had his head.
That's right. Adolin had conquered it.
Head was standing on it, yeah.
No. Well, and there was a girl who had like a 12-year-old who'd sent in a couple of pictures, and her picture of Mizzy is exactly how I pictured her. It was really, really cool to me.
That girl's got talent. Those pictures were great.
Yeah, that was definitely above standard 12-year-old art.
Yeah.
No, those are really good. So the other thing that was early in the stream, did you guys see or Brandon talk about the D&D group made out of the Koloss crew?
Yes,
I did.
That was like, I was loving that so much.
See, Navani, he said, would be a druid.
Yeah. Yes. And
I lost connection for a bit, and I couldn't.
So Yasna's the DM.
Okay, I missed the beginning.
So yeah, Yasna's the DM. Adolin is a rogue because
Oh
no, because he wants to be all the different things.
Kaladin's the fighter.
Kaladin's the fighter because he's like, well, that's what I am. And they're like, well, yeah, but you need. And he's like, well, this is what I am.
Kaladin has no imagination.
Yeah, Adolin wants to be everything. Kaladin has. He's just like, this is me.
Yeah, Shallan would be. They decided on wizard, I think, for Shallan, and Renarin was going to be a paladin because it's what he's always wanted to be. You know,
I'd say Shallan's
or
a
a barbarian. Anyway, this is what Sanderson was saying, because you missed part of it, right, Jordan? That it cut.
Yeah.
And then
I missed the first ones.
Dalinar was going to be
Dalinar's a monk.
Yeah, and then I feel like I'm missing somebody, but I think that's it.
Did he say Lift?
No, Lift. Lift was not part of the Koloss family.
Did we say Renarin?
Renarin was the paladin.
That's right.
Because he's always, or a barbarian, depending, because he's always wanted to be like, if he's gonna do imaginary, that's what he wants to do. So,
no,
yeah, but I was like, oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Yeah, Wit is obviously a bard because he just is a bard.
Yeah,
and I feel like Lift is the obligatory person who somehow sneaks their way into the campaign.
Yeah. So this is kind of a tangent, but have you guys seen, like, there's a meme or a story going around about, like, somebody gets up from the D&D table and they come back and a cat is, or they're not there yet, and a cat sits in their chair. And so the group is like, well, I guess we can have the cat roll. So they put a D20 in front of it and the cat rolls to, like, sneak into the group. And then they have the cat, like, stay there for the entire campaign and say that it's like a druid who's in wild shape. And so it can't communicate.
Stuck in wild shape.
Stuck in wild shape. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's awesome.
Well, and it stayed like the whole campaign, I think.
Yeah. It would hang out every time. So they pulled out another chair for the person who was there.
There's a lot of really cool D&D stories going around right now.
Oh, yes. I love it.
None of them will ever top Sir Barrington, in my opinion. But and if you don't know what we're talking about, that's too much of a tangent. Just look up D&D Sir Barrington.
I don't know.
Bluff check.
Yeah, it's worth your time.
Okay. Awesome.
And by Barrington, I mean Bear Ington. So
like bear.
Because it's a bear who has an unnaturally high bluff check, and he's convinced everyone that he's not a bear.
Oh, nice.
It's wonderful. But no, these are the types of, like, these are the important questions that the fans have been wanting to know.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, Brandon has been avoiding. It's about time we get some answers. But no, they also asked him who would he want, like, from Dragonsteel to be their spren. Like, who would he bond?
That was before because it was cut off when
and he's like, and they said if it was going to be Adam or Isaac, and he's like, well, if it's only those two, then Isaac. And
he's like, but if it's all Dragonsteel, I kind of have to pick my wife,
Emily, or else it's going to be a little awkward for everybody involved. And it's like, yeah.
Okay, so what can we extrapolate from that? So the relationship between Brandon and Sprint and Emily means that a human and a Sprint can have a romantic relationship. And
oh no,
sorry,
we're not doing the Calcil ship.
Oh, there are people who are still
diehard
playing that.
I mean, if that's your thing,
I feel that drum is only getting beat louder.
Yep.
The other thing was Brandon's shirt. It's just a picture of Gru summon the minions and then
assemble the minions.
Yeah, well, and then Brandon said Gru is his spirit animal. I know. I didn't have that on the bingo card.
When he said that, my immediate thought was, does that mean that Vector is Scalzi?
Scalzi?
Because we know Brandon's nemesis is Scalzi.
It is true.
So that's
unrelated.
That's an old school Brandon lore story.
So that's a deep cut. Only the truest of fans get Scalzi jokes.
Just because, like, there were a couple of wards that Brandon was up for, and every single time Scalzi went up against him and won instead. And somebody gave Brandon the Scalzi award. They are friends, Doc.
Yeah,
but I'm talking in their early career. Brandon claimed him as nemesis in a very good-natured way.
I think it's important to have a nemesis.
Yes. My nemesis is Vitaber.
True.
That's a friend of ours from college.
Yeah.
we were sitting next to each other, and somebody was like, one of us was like, I don't have a nemesis. Like, me either. Do you want to be my nemesis? I was like, sure, we'll be nemesis.
That'll be fine. Oh.
He's the one who also told us about Sir Barrington.
Yes, he is. No, I told him about Sir Barrington.
Oh, did you? Well, I learned it from him.
But he loves bears, and so that's why I shared it with him. So
his version's better because his impersonation of a bear trying to pass a bluff check is impeccable. It's exactly what I imagine it being.
Yep. This is what our listeners are here for, though, is our old college stories. So back to Brandon. His kid, a couple of his kids showed up, which was fun.
I missed part of this, but go ahead.
So they were there. They helped him. I love it. They walked on, and he's like, "Okay, so you're here. You were asking if you could be on the stream." They're like, "Yep," and they just sort of stood there. He was like, "So you got to do something entertaining." And so Dallin, his I think his middle child, starts dancing in the middle of the room, and then he looks over at Ollie's the younger one, and he just starts dancing too. Just like,
well, this is entertaining, right?
All right, then that's what's going on now.
There we go. Yeah.
But then they open some magic cards for him, and
which is clearly the important thing to do.
That was one of my favorite parts. Is just every so often Brandon's like, you know what I need to do? I need to open some more magic cards because people had sent him magic cards for his birthday, and he's just opening them on stream, and he's just talking to Emily, and he's just like, I want to open some more magic cards, and he reaches over and I was just like, and it's your birthday, so you can.
There you go.
Well, one of the things I found interesting is, this is a small thing. It's hard to imagine Brandon as a parent just because we only know him as the author, the businessman. But like the fact he actually has to parent, small humans.
Yeah, Brandad Sanderson.
Yeah. And just the thing I have to drive with my son because he's 15 and we just happen to always go to the game shop by sheer coincidence.
You just got to pick up those magic cards. Yeah.
It's just a weird thought thinking of Brandon. Oh yeah, he still has to do a job of a parent.
That just makes me feel old because I remember following Brandon when he didn't have any kids. And then when his son was born, he was referring to him as Lime Baby. I don't remember why.
I do remember that, yeah. Because it probably was the size of a lime or something like that.
Yeah, I think at one point he was the size, when he was growing, he was the size of a lime. And they just kept referring to him as Lime Baby. And then after he was born, he was Lime Boy for a while. And so it's weird hearing that child is now 15.
I know. It's crazy.
Man.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I've been in this fandom a long time.
Long time. And we love it.
Mm-hmm.
I was 15 years old when I was started this fandom. I'm 97
I was there,
years
Gandalf. I was there 10,000 years ago.
The BYU bookstore.
Can I tell you, I actually recently joined the Sanderson Collectors Guild group on Facebook.
Oh, did you now?
Yes. There's some impressive stuff in there.
Yes, there is.
There's also a lot of stuff going for much more money than I ever expected it to, that I just happened to pick up because I was just there. I'm just like,
that being,
just like early editions, first printings. And
can you give me an example of one that goes for way more than you'd think?
Just honestly, all of them.
How much?
Like some of them were $200, $300, $400.
Really? Wow. That's more than a leather bound.
Yeah. Well, and first editions of leather browns are going for hundreds.
Probably.
A couple, yeah. There's one guy who got the metal version of the irony, that the two clip piece.
The coin. Yeah.
Or the two clip or two boxing. The two piece in the special piece in that was going around at the con. They only had 20 or 25 of them.
Do you want me to go grab my cardboard ones?
Did you get an irony?
Yeah.
No.
You got a cardboard irony.
Ones. the metal ones.
I got a cardboard one. I did not get a metal one.
Right, but the cardboard ironies, there were only a few of those because you could get the metal ones by turning in a complete set, including the cardboard one.
I got mine because I talked to Katie Payne like at the very end of the con, and she had some extras.
Okay.
As of things. So
but so if you turned in a full set, then you would get a metal version of the irony. There's a person who is trying to sell it. It originally went up for $5,000 on eBay. Ooh. It's currently dropped down to $2,000. I think eventually it's going to drop down to a much more reasonable range, just because the consensus in the Facebook group is just like, okay, that's a little bit crazy.
That's
gotta see, gotta test them waters.
Mm-hmm. But so it's just like there is some stuff out there that collectors are willing to pay some money for, and so.
Collection is an interesting habit we humans have.
By the way, I am saying this to our listeners. I don't know if it's still the case. First off, I got my white whale. As a board gamer, everybody's got their white whale that they're looking for, the one game that they can't get a hold of, or the one thing. For me, it was the penny gems for Mistborn House War. Penny gems they're like these adhesive acrylic things that you stick to a penny. And it makes it look like an upgraded cardboard token. Like you put them on both sides. They were part of the Kickstarter for Mistborn House War. I missed the Kickstarter, and the company who made them has since gone out of business. But Crafty Games must have found some in the back of a warehouse somewhere or something, because there were some up for a limited time on the website. So I found it and got it. They also, I don't know if they're still available, but for a time, they had the Mistborn metal dice available.
Yeah.
So also there were a bunch of people who
feature at our booth.
Yeah, there were a bunch of people who came up to me to our booth at the convention asking about them. They are available. They're like $200 for the regular set. They also have a dings and dents version, so like not perfect, for like 120, 130.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it still? Do you want me to look?
I don't know if it's still available, because here's the thing. It said it was available until December 4th. I bought mine on December 7th. So I don't know if they're still up or not.
I'm just going to look and see.
Yeah, who knows? All I know is it was interesting.
They do. It does have them up on the website.
Okay.
So yeah, if you were one of those people who came by at the con, saw the dice, and got mad at me because I was showing something that was unavailable.
Yeah, it's craftygames.com.
Crafty-games.com. And you want to do that soon, because their web store is going down in the next week or two, because they're going to completely revamp it. So if you want to do that,
the plastic ones too. If you want,
they do have the plastic ones.
Yeah,
they're a lot more.
No, that was one that I was surprised how rare they were, because we were right next to the Sanderson Collection Guild,
and they didn't have them.
They didn't, and they were asking Bill if he'd sell them.
No, I had lots of people asking, and I was like, I'm sorry.
No, they're not available.
I need to just make a little acrylic sign or something and be like, just for looking.
Not for sale, just really cool.
I'll admit, the childish, selfish, small part of me inside, every time somebody said, I want that, and I knew that they couldn't have it, I grinned a little bit to myself, because I'm a bad person. But honestly, like I would love for people to be able to get this. So if you were one of those people, check it out. It's there for who knows how long.
Yeah, but it's there right now, at least at 9:10 p.m. on the 19th of December.
It's on the website. I don't know if it's still available or what the deal is.
It looks
so
like
I can't say that I'm actively advertising it. I don't know that what the situation is. But I ordered
the gem things, right?
The penny gems, yeah.
No,
and that was after they said that they'd be down. So, Jordan.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, that was one of the seeing those things, the things that people want. It's so interesting with collection, just because you have no clue what's going to be the thing that's hard to get. And so, I don't know. It was just one of those things. I never would have guessed the metal dice would have been.
I mean, they're gorgeous.
Oh, they are gorgeous. It's that part's. It's just.
This is also the first branded Sanderson thing that was kickstarted.
Yeah.
No, the Mistborn House War was kickstarted, but this is the first non-board game thing. This is the first collectible item, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was before everything had gone gangbusters.
And it is something that everyone, like Brandon's blowing up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like even my grandparents were somewhat aware of him, which was a shocker.
The Kickstarter brought him to prominence for everybody.
So I guess I should have brought this up about a month ago. They were asking me about Brandon. Never came up because we were too busy reviewing some book he released or something. I don't know. And I'm like, oh, so like, what's this Kickstarter thing? Because trying to explain Kickstarter to a non-engineering is a difficult process, let me tell you. And because I just barely like they're still floored by email. It's great.
Nice $100 word there, Jordan.
Okay, for the record, my grandmother texted me, and I'm so proud of her.
Oh.
She's like, "Oh, I'm just such a pain with this technology." I'm like, "Nanny, you're not a pain at all. First of all, think about it. Most people your age are dead." It's a joke I do with her a lot because whenever she complains about her aches and pains, that seems to make her happy. So
you could be dead. Yeah,
Jordan, you come from a sick line.
Gallows humor is out.
That's my family. We're messed up people, but we're happy, and that's the important thing. No, and so she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Well, here's the thing about Brandon. Like in this Kickstarter, he had a launch thing, but he had to sort of come clean about something at first because I wanted her to get that same feeling the rest of us got." And so I pulled it up on YouTube, which she still is convinced is black magic, and she just had her watch that, and they laughed just as hard as we did when Brandon did his big reveal
of like pulling out a notebook.
I made another book.
Yeah. And then as he pulls out the other ones, and she's like, "Wait, are those?" I'm like, "Yeah, he wrote.
Those are the actual manuscripts,
extra novels." And she's just like in awe of this. She's, how did he do this? And it's like, because while YouTube is not magic, Brandon is.
Because Brandon has turned insomnia into a life hack.
Yes.
I stole that line from Jordan. I will give you full credit for it.
No, you stole it because I stole that from Howard Taylor.
That's right, you did.
Let's do proper attribution here.
Well, no, I attributed it to you. You can therefore attribute it to him. There's a chain.
Yeah, chain of custody, I guess,
chain of
the joke.
Provenance. No, that's what that word is. That's right, provenance.
So, I don't know. Well, then there's the meme of, what is it, Brandon, George R. R. Martin, and Pat Rothfuss have a deal where they shave every time they write a book.
Yeah, there's a picture of Brandon's clean shaven. Oh, man.
I like that one.
That was pretty
No, but I don't know. It's just so, like, that's how much Brandon's blowing up. Like, when 90-year-olds know about you.
You're doing well.
It's true.
That's the next level, I think. Because 90-year-olds don't know about anything. Because they have, they're going to watch their stuff and they're kind of just done.
They're doing what they want to do.
Well, think of the effort it takes to keep up with things. It's like, why am I going to do that at 90?
Yeah.
That is exhausting. It's my other grandfather, bless his soul. He was going in. He had literally had a hole in his head. He had his head caved in because he had some weird virus or something that had eaten some of his skull thing. So he was having to walk around his house with a helmet. And he was just going in. And my mom tells the story. He just goes and gets a whole heaping scoop of, big giant thing of ice cream. My grandmother's like, Kent, you shouldn't eat that. And he's like, I have a hole in my head. I'll eat whatever I want.
I'm gonna eat it. Just gonna do it.
For the record, that's a completely different set of grandparents. Yes, this is you want to know
how different
how I got here. Here are the breadcrumbs that lead you to the messed up person that you see before you now, or listening before you now.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's all good. Now I want to make a chasm fiend now. I've been wanting to make one, and now I was seeing one. I'm like,
it's like,
I could make one.
You should model yours after the one that Allison made, our friend who made that poster.
That would be pretty.
It's true.
No guarantees on when that's happening, but I really do want to make one. So yes.
You know, that'll be on your very, very short queue, right? The one that doesn't go for miles.
No, I have a couple small plushies that I want to make for some friends, but then otherwise
that's the giant thing I want. Amy's list of things she wants to make.
I could show it to you if you really want, because the list is huge.
A giant plush chasm fiend.
Oh,
a giant plush.
I want a chasm fiend that I can sleep on.
Jordan wants a chasm fiend body pillow.
There you go. Night, Doc.
Night, Doc. Oh man.
Well, and then the other thing, Brandon's the cards he's opening. I don't understand the form of magic he plays because clearly it's non-standard.
Yeah, I think this is definitely like a special edition.
These are a weird series. I think
these are like silly.
Yeah, but cards. Some of them I'm like you know, it gives special buffs to minions that have alliterative names, and I'm like, I want to build an alliterative name deck.
Or I remember like the one that it's like, if you're taller than this line on the card, then that card dies or whatever like that.
Dies.
If their head is above that, it's.
Well, and then the disemvoweler, where it destroys a monster, and however many vowels it has in its name, it deals damage.
They take that much damage.
Like, you could tell whoever was making those at Magic, they were just having the grandest time.
I want to be on.
How silly.
I want to be on the team of silly cards.
Yes.
The Ministry of Silly Cards.
I also, just the fact that Brandon's like, come on, guys, look at how much free advertising I do for you. Do me a solid here.
Well, the thing that he was kind of serious with this one is he was offering naming rights for a character in the Stormlight Archive in exchange for one of these Heroes of the Realm cards.
And he wasn't joking when he said it's a fair value.
Well, because when they auctioned off naming rights for charity for a Stormlight character, they got tens of thousands of dollars for it.
Do we know who that character was?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
That'd be interesting to know.
I'll take a look and see if I can search. So, Jordan, you need to vent for a while.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, while we're on the subject,
you're doing great.
Yeah, thank you. While we're on the subject of Brandon wanting his giant card, I love it. That's when his wife is stepping in. She's like, "Where would you put it?"
But he's like, "Right here. There's an empty spot in my cabinet above the sword. It's fine. It's fine."
Yeah,
Jordan. I mean, Brandon you could just be like, "I have an entire underground lair. I'll find a spot."
There are places. I'll make places.
I'll make do. Just cause he just wants the man just wants a giant card. just can't we have anything pure in this world? Just get this man a giant card. And the thing is, they're Sanderson fans at
who are like,
at Wizards of the Coast. Like Brandon won't sit here and abuse his connections until it's Magic, and then it's just it's abuse.
Will march all over them.
There's no more rules. You're coming between me and Magic cards. I have 3-4 Black Lotuses or something.
I think it was
5.
Was it 5? Oh my goodness, I've lost track.
I think it was 5.
And it's something they have the conversation. Ooh, another Black Lotus is available. Brandon, do you need another Black Lotus? Yes, this is a different thing.
This is a second printing.
And I only have 1, 3, 4, and 5.
Well, and then doesn't he have like the original art by the original artist or something who then like passed away recently, or I don't know.
I didn't.
There was something about that. There was something about that. I remember it was him and an artist of one of the Magic cards who turns out they were fans of each other and they didn't know it, but someone who was between them did and got Brandon to sign something for him and got him to sign something for Brandon.
Was it Argyle?
Oh yeah, I think it was Steve Argyle.
It was Steve Argyle. Okay,
I think it's that. Yeah, because he.
Yeah. Speaking of which, our friend Steve Pond over on Raffo did an interview with Steve Argyle. Go check that out on his YouTube channel.
Oh, did he? I missed that.
Yep.
That'll be.
I think they talk about that on it.
Yeah, I think they do. It's been a while since I
unintentionally gave a preview for an interview I didn't even know happened.
So yeah, shameless plug for our buddy Steve.
Yeah, boy.
Our boy Steve.
Indeed. No. That's the other thing. It's just what a cool team he has.
Yeah. And it's just growing. A good job.
Yeah. I mean, well, so there was I found an interview that he did with Shadiversity about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And back
Shadiversity was one of his consultants for medieval
and this was sort of the stream
Yeah.
where he got to announce, "Hey, I'm consulting for Brandon," which for him was obviously a big deal.
Oh, huge.
And he so he's interviewing Brandon, like a full hour-long interview with Brandon. It was very fascinating. But Brandon said, "Oh, the team's growing. It's got 10 people." And at this convention, he said the team's now up to 54 people.
Yeah, it was like 53, I think, maybe 54.
The point was, it was a 5x in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
That is some pretty shocking growth.
Well, the Kickstarter kind of spiked things a bit.
Oh yeah, because they have a lot of warehouses.
Because to fulfill that, I mean, they had just gotten their new warehouse, the one that we toured,
and then they had to jump up.
They've had to move to a much bigger one, but since then.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just one of those things that I love seeing. I love seeing the growth of it. One, because it, look, obviously we're Sanderson fans. It's great to have more people to talk to about this stuff. But the other reason is it lets them be more discerning about the things they want to do because they have opportunities.
Yep.
Well, and I mean, that's part of people wondering like, oh, why wasn't, Brandon announcing State of the Sanderson today? And people are theorizing, maybe they're dotting T's, crossing I's with some of the details and
with movie things, I hope.
Yes, good. I'm glad you caught on what I did there. For those audio only listeners, Bill was trying to draw the letters with his finger.
Trying to dot a T.
Do it. It looks good. Umlauted T's are going to be very big in 2023. Let me tell you. Buy early. Not actually.
Umlauted T's is my Viking metal band. My Viking metal Black Eyed Peas.
Dotted T's. You're with a Scandinavian Black Eyed Peas cover band.
Yes. Wow.
I
like this episode.
It's a good one. No, but I like that they have the power because you know what? This past decade we've seen a lot of questionable adaptations of things. So I like Brandon having the ability to say no.
We're gonna do the story justice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean it'll be amazing? For Doomslug Slippers at some point?
Yeah, we still need.
I said fingers crossed for Doomslug Slippers and Sunni Cubs at some point.
Sunni Cubs aren't happening according to Kara.
Kara said
yes, but now they're getting bigger and they're getting, the.
You can have other people.
Kara will soon have an empire to run.
Are you saying we'll be able to slip things out from under her in the future?
No, I'm saying that she can start pressing people into service and making them happen, even though they're difficult.
Okay, gotcha. Now, I'm worried that somehow in this empire, we're going to end up in the Sanderson dungeon. She'll be like, so the Sunni Cubs, you wanted them. No. And it's going to be like some sort of monkey's paw. The point is, if you get a Sunni Cub and there's a help letter in the middle of it, come rescue us.
You mean in the pouch for the medals?
Yeah. In a little pouch. I should just add that was the other thing.
This Sunni Cub was inspected by inspector number. Please get me out. I'm stuck in the Sunni Cub factory.
Please. 666. 6 calling
I'm
for
probably
help.
in the Sanderson house.
There's good brownies, but I need out.
I cannot live on brownies.
Wow, this got dark.
Yeah, I can't believe you guys did that. No, I love this team. Like, there's just so much fun. That was the other thing. Like, I got my copy of Lost Metal signed by Kara.
Did you?
Yeah?
Yeah, I saw her. I'm like, Kara, did you sign it? And she's like,
I didn't know that. I would have done that.
And so she signed it for me next to her attribution in the acknowledgement section. Yeah, I had an idea of going to a lot more people, and then a con happened. But
yeah.
But no, we got we got to chat with a lot of the people on his team at Dragonsteel.
Yeah.
And I just like Ben McSweeney.
Yes.
Really cool guy. Just he's got this jacket with patches sewn all over it, and but he's just this guy. You talk to him, he has really interesting takes on a lot of things, and just a cool guy to chat with. And that's indicative of the whole team, like you're saying.
Yeah. Well, it was fun to see like him and Isaac talking, and they're debating over the pronunciations of various places in the Cosmere, the same as any other nerds would.
Yeah, I asked him about that. I was like, how do you say her name? Because I'm going to be dressed up as her, and I want to say the name right. And then they went and consulted because they wanted to make sure they got it right.
Well, and that's the thing is that Ben and Isaac disagreed on how it was supposed to be pronounced.
And I'm like, oh no, if they can't agree, then what is it supposed to be? I don't
know. Oh, there is one other thing. I absolutely love, because Dragonsteel is an LLC, they're able to create their own officer titles.
That's right.
So Emily is technically the chief operations officer, but officially and legally, as part of their LLC, she is labeled Queen.
The Queen.
So Emily is legally a queen.
The Queen of Dragonsteel.
So we started a chant in the chat, just all hail the Dragon Queen. Which she probably loved. So no, I like Emily. I think she's a good match for Brandon.
I think they should stick together.
Yeah, I like it.
Plus, she tipped me well the one time I door dashed the Cosmere house. So, I'm biased. I've literally been bought off. Like everyone else here, their loyalty is untarnished. Me, I've literally been paid for. So.
For the price of 20% of a meal.
It was a large order for everyone who was there for some magic draft night or something. I don't remember the specifics, but it was a large order. It was 2 really big bags of Zupas. Okay.
Ooh, that's the classy fast food.
Yes, it is, and I'm just so glad to know that they're good tippers. I did not want to know they were bad tippers. That would have been bad.
Share.
That's a hard pedestal to fall from.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's one thing if you find out someone's a bad tipper. It's another thing if they bad tip you.
Double the pain.
I wish I had known beforehand that because afterwards when we asked Kara's like, oh no, they love hearing that it's it's a Cosmere fan. I was so worried of coming across as a stalker.
Well, did you guys hear about the times that Brennan talked about, like trick-or-treaters that would come in costume, like specifically to see him?
I love it.
Wow.
In Cosmere costumes, and he's like, and it got to be a little much because like I would be up there the whole time, like seeing all these people and signing their books, and then apparently one of his kids was like, oh, we're giving away books, and gave away a ton of books. And it's like, oh, we can't keep doing that.
That is awesome. Here, let's instead just give away literal bread and butter instead of giving away our bread and butter.
Butter, yeah.
It'd be cheaper.
Exactly.
When you can't once you give books away to one, you can't not give them to the others. They're gonna be like, "What? I thought we were getting books
they
here."
Got a book. Yeah.
It's like there's always that one house that gives away like the Costco-sized candy. It's like he's giving away books.
What? Except there's the one kid who doesn't know what the Cosmere is, and he's just like,
they're giving away books.
He's egging Brandon's house and give me a freaking book.
What is up with that?
Read it, child. Your world will be changed.
Or just sell it.
Now I'm just imagining the Brandon like being the literature version of unintended kids in this comic book shop will be taught how to play Magic.
Oh yes.
Except Brandon's unintended kids will be introduced to the Cosmere.
And Magic the Gathering.
It's a dangerous combo.
Yeah.
Brandon.
Very dangerous.
they give away a book, and Brandon's like, I was using a Black Lotus as a bookmark in that.
What? I need it back.
There's no way he would use a Black Lotus
with a bookmark. No.
Well, let's just sort of sign off this podcast, though, with just an expression of appreciation for Brandon. A big happy birthday from us. Like, I mean, he seriously has changed lives.
Yeah.
Doing this hobby that he does for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he wasn't making money, he would still write books.
That's actually, of all the Brandon stories, that's one of my favorites, where he talks about this a lot. If you ever watch his series on how to write in his lectures at BYU, and he talks about how he got to a point with his writing, and he was like in the middle of his 12th book or whatever, where he's just like kind of depressed because, you know, he was just not getting anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, if I don't make, you know, I had to come to a decision. If I don't make a single book sell ever, if I only ever write for myself, is that enough? And I decided it was. And then like the next month, Elantris got picked up.
Yep.
Nice.
Like, it's just like, it's one of those stories of perseverance. And I just imagine him doing those late nights at that hotel desk lobby, lobby desk, and just, you know, pounding it out. And then finally he just gets it. And you just see how far he's come. It's just it's an awesome story.
I remember I was delving into the depths of the internet, and I found myself back in the Time Wasters Guide, which, if people aren't familiar, I've mentioned it a few times, but it's sort of the precursor to the Coppermind and the 17th Shard. It was something that Isaac talked about it in his episode, I think, didn't he?
I think
or
so.
No, Dan talked about it in his episode.
That's right.
That's right.
That's what it was. It was just basically a forum that they put together to get free copies of video games because they would review games and stuff, and they were able to get stuff out of it. And it was just sort of them chatting and having fun. And it grew to be sort of this writers group and stuff. And I ended up on a thread that Brandon started when he sold Elantris. And like, it was just this, guys, I did it. I sold my book. And it's just really cool going back and seeing these early days. If you ever do find yourself on the Time Wasters Guide and you're looking for Brandon, his screen name over there is EUOL. It stands for Evil Undead Overlord. So if you ever find yourself there, that's what it is. You know, that's him. So, but it's just really cool seeing these early days. One of the funniest things that I found is he was writing, like, there was a discussion going on about the Wheel of Time. And Brandon talked about, he's like, I fell off around book 10. He's just like, you know, I'll probably go back and read them again at some point. And I was just like,
yes. And
it was just sort of after Brandon had been tagged. I was just like, I know that he went back and read them at some point because he reread them 3 times before he wrote the last 3 books. And you know, he was just like, it's finally gotten to the point where I don't know what's going on with it. You know, he's amazing. He's somebody I admire. And he's like, but I don't know. I think I've just sort of kind of fallen off the hype train or something like that. And I was just like, buddy, you're going to be driving the hype train.
Choo choo.
But yeah, so that's one of my favorite Brandon stories.
We know Amy's, though.
Oh, we were there for Amy's.
Yeah.
Yes.
She still just giggles.
Yes.
I'll never forget the way he tapped his fingers together.
Whereas I don't even remember that exactly. I was just like focused on the face and like, okay, don't freak out. Don't freak out.
Amy had tunnel vision. It was great.
Yeah.
So if you ever see in a live stream a bright orange D20
with black numbers,
Amy made that.
I made it.
And if you watch Daniel Green's videos, you see a bright pink one.
And
in the background.
I noticed in the Legendarium, I can't remember the guy's name. Oh goodness, is it Craig? It might be Craig. The guy with the longer hair. He had in the back of he had my red dice. I noticed too.
From last year, or did you get it
from this year? I gave him the D20, the red one.
That's awesome.
So I'm like, look, my dice are everywhere. And so I gave the dice to Alan Seawright for him and Jonathan Decker from Cinema Therapy. And I was like, oh, well, it'd be really cool if you could get me a picture of Jonathan with his. And he's like, oh, don't worry. They're going to be in the background. So
yes.
Oh, really? Nice.
I don't know when, because they pre-record their videos for chunks. So at some point,
but for our current audience, the one that you should definitely be on the lookout, because the one we want to see is a bright orange one in Brandon's background.
Be amazing.
So
the problem is apparently space is at a premium, and
I know
Mrs. Sanderson seems to be trying to slow him down.
Yeah.
She doesn't want their entire house to get filled with stuff.
With magic cards.
Jordan, I believe you mean Queen Emily the First.
Sorry, yes, Queen Emily the First. Hallowed be her name, or something.
Long may she reign.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Long may she reign.
Dragon Queen of the Steel Empire. We love hearing from our listeners, so please send in questions. You can ask us about the Cosmere. You can drop us your ideas for topics you'd like us to discuss. You can just tell us what you love about the Cosmere. We want to hear it. While you're at it, we'd love to hear feedback on how you think we're doing, as well as any interesting theories that you might have about what's going on in the Cosmere in current books, in the background, all over the place. You can send all of your questions and suggestions in a brief, concise email to cosmerestudies@gmail.com, and hopefully we could read that as part of the show. You can also write us at the Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies, P.O. Box 970063, Orem, Utah 84097. We do have our own personal projects outside of this show. Jordan, why don't you lead us off and tell us where we can find your work and what you're up to?
Yes, well, I will be picking up my streaming again once we get past the turn of the year. Right now, I'm just still at home, and we are not streaming because the internet connection, as you can tell by looking at Amy's pixelated face if you are here live, is not the best. But I have something that I need you all to do. I need it desperately. I've put a link in the show notes underneath my section. There is a link to a Google form. I'm going to be picking up my XCOM video production again. And the cool thing about XCOM is that it pulls from a random name table. What's even cooler about XCOM is you can edit that name table. And I'm trying to populate this name list with fans of the various things that I do, either streaming or over here. So if you would like a random chance to get into XCOM and have your soldier horribly killed by my mismanagement, you need to fill out that form so you can be one of the pigs to this slaughter, because XCOM 2 is brutal. I play on the hardest difficulty and in Iron Man, which is no save mode. So yeah, it's brutal, but it's brutal by design and kind of in a fun way. I don't know how to describe XCOM's fun brutality, but I would really like you all to fill it out. So if you have a moment, it takes like 3 minutes to fill this thing out. Just go into the show notes, click it, and just give your name, a brief description. You'll have a lot of fun.
Okay. And Amy, how about you?
My Facebook is Coincidence Cosplay and Props. My Twitter is @CoincidenceCosp because my name is too long. My Instagram is @coincidence_cosplay, and my TikTok is @coincidencecosplay, all one long giant word. My website is www.coincidencecosplay.com, and I just now remember that I still need to make that website pretty. Anyway, so I submitted my Jawa for the Rebel Legion, so hopefully I'll be able to troop soon with that. And I got my and I have, sorry for all of your eardrums about that. I'm gonna do my Imperial Officer as well. I just need to fix a few little things on it, hopefully, and get that started on submissions. Otherwise, I'm gonna be doing random bits and bobs and hopefully actually putting up pictures of all the stuff I've been taking pictures of for ever and ever. And I'm also doing our TikTok for the podcast. Wow, words. So yeah, so if you can come and follow us on there, then that would be super cool, because if we get above 1,000, then I can do lives. Up until then, I can't, because TikTok does that. We're almost up to 100, so yay.
Nice.
Awesome. As for myself, I've got another podcast with my friend Dylan about board games called The Innkeeper's Table. We typically have new episodes Friday mornings, but we are still on our hiatus until January. Now is the perfect time to go back and go through our back catalog and catch up, because we're going to be putting out new stuff in January, and you don't want to fall behind. For those of you who want to support the Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies, but you can't become patrons, we'd love it if you just let your friends know about the show. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, to like and subscribe over on youtube.com/Cosmere Studies. And if you'd toss us a good review wherever you listen to us, we'd love that too. Also, head over to store.streamelements.com/Cosmere Studies to buy Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies merch. Final thoughts before we go.
Thank you, Brandon. You're awesome. And you guys, all you listeners are awesome too.
Yes.
Yep. I will agree with those sentiments, and I'm just going to put in one final plea. Wizards of the Coast, get Brandon his giant wizard card. You owe it to him. You owe it to this man.
That man has opened so many cards on stream. And I mean, he sold his books for Magic cards at one point. This man deserves a giant, oversized card, I think. Thank you, Brandon. Happy birthday! I hope it's a wonderful day and a wonderful year for you. This is, in my opinion, the official beginning of the year of Sanderson.
Yeah,
we'll start getting our things in January from the Kickstarter, but this is the beginning of that amazing year, and we're all looking forward to it. So thank you for everything you do. Special thanks to our patron producer, Mim's Laundry Service. If a ravenous Koloss has munched on your head, there's not much we can do, for you'll likely be dead. But if Koloss's drool has dripped onto your collar, we'll wash it up, mend it, and deliver top dollar. In addition to the live episodes of the show that stream on twitch.tv/Innkeeper's Table every 2 weeks on Monday nights at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, listeners can find our videos on YouTube or audio versions of the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and just about any other service that carries podcasts by searching for Cosmere Studies. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook under the profile @Cosmere Studies. For our next episode, we are going to be revisiting what we were planning to do tonight and discussing the upcoming state of the Sanderson. This is probably going to be a huge one, so you are definitely not going to miss it. So make sure to join us for the first live recording of the new year, and again, the first live recording of the year of Sanderson on Monday, January 2nd, 2023 at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern at www.twitch.tv/Innkeeper's Table. Until then, on behalf of Amy, Jordan, and myself, thanks for listening. And remember, there's always another secret.